Welcome to my second video about my 9-year-old autistic son's HSE nightmare. I have encountered a lot of silence on this matter. The kind of silence from the other side when information should have been provided without one requesting it, and the kind of silence heard when one requests information, but it is not provided. One thing about silence of any kind is that it doesn't mean that nothing is happening. After my son's hospital admission in late May 2025 and his subsequent discharge on 3 June 2025, and the CAMHS-ID assessment of the same day where the aripiprazole that was put on his discharge prescription sheet to continue the successful treatment from hospital was discontinued for the reason that he will not be needing that, and the continued refusal to reinstate the medication after several requests following the 10th of June 2025 letter to our GP, which omitted the reason my son was admitted and treated with aripiprazole at the University Hospital Limerick, I began formally requesting records about his care from the departments that were involved in this matter. Which HSE departments am I speaking of? West Clare CDNT, HSE Midwest Children's Disability Services, and the University Hospital Limerick. I refer to them as separate departments because the people involved in this matter fall into 4 departments, and because I had to follow the HSE Data Protection Request Guidance, which tells the public to write to or submit a form to the local service or hospital that holds the information they are requesting. HSE CAMHS-ID is the 4th. In the absence of any acknowledgement or other response to my 7th of July 2025 request under the Data Protection Act to the Deputy Data Protection Officer, in which I asked that the HSE should stop processing inaccurate information about my child and I, and my 23rd of July 2025 subject access request to the HSE's Data Protection Officer requesting my son's records, I had no choice but to make requests independently to those 3 local departments that I mentioned earlier. Why a data protection request to West Clare CDNT? You see, in June 2025, a senior clinical psychologist and a social worker from West Clare CDNT visited my home as part of visiting team. They carried out an assessment of my son and his sibling over an 8-week period. 4 consecutive fortnightly visits. The senior clinical psychologist visited twice with the social worker. 2 others visited once each with the same social worker on the first and the last visits. The questioning appeared to be concentrated on the one child who had been to hospital rather than both children, which is strange, seeing as what I was told was that they were there to find out the problems of the children, after which they would come up with solutions and let me know. You see, before my son's hospital admission, the consultant CAMHS-ID psychiatrist's office had referred the family to West Clare CDNT for support, despite the fact that the CDNT could not prescribe the medication that my son and his sibling urgently needed. This referral was in response to my letter asking for my son to be assessed and/or given a prescription, after the consultant psychiatrist had told me over the phone that I needn't tell her anything about the child's situation, as there was nothing she could do for the child because he wasn't an active case. He was only on the waiting list. On 28th of July 2025, the day of the 4th visit, the social worker told me that the visits were ending on that day and that they would only come back if I wanted them to. It would be her and another CDNT employee, not the senior clinical psychologist whose second and last visit was on 14th July 2025. I was handed a support letter dated 15th of July 2025 for an application to have access to the Sensory Toys and Resources section of Clare Libraries. I was also told there was a joint home visit appointment. The consultant CAMHS-ID psychiatrist who had discontinued aripiprazole for my son 8 weeks prior was going to be visiting my home on 21st August 2025 with her team's clinical psychologist and the West Clare CDNT senior clinical psychologist who had assessed my son and his sibling. This joint appointment was unexpected, obviously given quite recent history. The letter and the abrupt end of the visits was unexpected too. This planned August meeting never happened though. After informal requests and a meeting with CDNT staff in which I was told there were no reports, only notes, and that the CDNT was a totally separate department from CAMHS-ID, and there was no way that CAMHS-ID would influence or dictate what they wrote about children who used their service. On 23 October 2025, I submitted a data access request to West Clare CDNT asking for all records they made, shared or received about my son between January and October 2025. Just before the Christmas holidays, when I asked about my DPA request, West Clare CDNT advised me that they had collated and forwarded the records that I requested from them to Disability Services in Limerick. As of today, Monday 12th of January 2025, I am yet to receive a single page of the records that I requested from the West Clare Child Disability Network team. Why does West Clare CDNT find it difficult to forward to me directly the records that I requested from them in October 2025? They assessed my kids. Where are the notes, the reports, and the recommendations? If the records reflect the true situation of the kids when they visited, why have they not sent the records to me? In the absence of the notes, report, and recommendations and other correspondence, am I supposed to conclude from the library application support letter that the CDNT senior clinical psychologist was suggesting that a visit to the special toys section of County Clare libraries would quieten an autistic child when they wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning, scream crying, scared, and not recognizing the family member who is trying to calm them down when their affliction is a result of autism, irritability, aggression and psychosis that they were treated for in hospital, but which was omitted on the post-assessment letter circulated by the HSE CAMHS-ID psychiatrist who discontinued the medication. My requests for accountability from 3 departments have only yielded silence, in that no records have been sent to me to fulfill the data protection requests I made to West Clare CDNT, HSE, Midwest Children's Disability Services, and the University Hospital Limerick. Going back to the point I started this video with, if silence doesn't mean that nothing is happening, then what is happening to the records I requested for? Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video to speak on behalf of a child who cannot speak for himself. GoFundMe, press, legal or other support inquiries can be sent to caroline@treatingwilliam.com.